Yeah. What's up, y'all? Friday night, and the fight is coming in about an hour. I'm gonna watch this dude knock this other dude out. I don't know why I want to see this so bad, but I can't wait to watch this dude knock this other dude out. Chicka pot, chicka pot pie. Joey Badaducci, Josh Rudy, what's up, you guys? Happy Friday. Hope you're well. Hope you're smiling, as I always say. Um, I'm looking forward to this stupid fight tonight. I don't know why. It just tickles me. I can't wait to watch this shit, man. I can't wait to see Jake Paul and Mike Tyson square off. I don't know why. I don't know why. I shouldn't care. I don't, right? I shouldn't care. But I can't wait to see it, dude. I want to see Tyson knock this dude's head off his neck. I really want to see it. Oh, shit. That's because I'm old, man. That's the reason why. I'm sticking up for the old dude. Because I myself am old. You know what I'm saying? I myself am an old man. So you know what I'm seeing all over TikTok is this haka in the New Zealand Parliament. Have you guys seen this? That was crazy, right? We should care so much in our country to frickin' stand up and speak up in such a way. In a heartfelt and emotional and artistic way. Hey, brother, how are you? Happy. Yeah, right? I agree 100%. When she starts making those faces, I'm just like, holy shit. Flaring her eyes and. Yep, those island girls are beautiful, no question about it. I can say that because Mrs. Benuto is out of earshot. Yeah, sign me up for reals. You gotta head down to New Zealand, Josh Rudy. Find your island girl. But we won't talk about that because I don't know if Laney's nearby. Laney. Happy Friday, Laney. Hope you're hanging out. Hope you're well. What are you doing? Hope you had a good week at school. So I'm gonna do a shameless. She's not. Okay. Well, we always just in case. I'm gonna shamelessly promote my wife's watercolor website. It's called MonicaArturi.com. MoniKaArturi.com. And she's here's this if you want to scan the QR code. Do 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 do. You can see her work. She's an accomplished watercolor artist in Chicago. She's done many paintings, some of which are hanging on the wall behind me. My Sleepy Samurai painting is hanging on the wall. My head's kind of blocking it. You can't see it right now. There, now you can see it. But some of her works. So on this wall to my left here, um, all her artwork is displayed. And I always promote my wife because she's amazing, and I think she's amazing. She made an honor roll. Congratulations, Lainey. That's amazing. Tell her when she comes. Well, let me know when she comes back to where she can see me, and I'll give her a special honor roll song on the guitar. Rich, what's up, man? How are you? Happy Friday, brother. So we got patch notes today. We got patch notes today, you guys. I don't know if you saw, but we got some patch notes. And I'm underwhelmed, to say the least, and I wasn't expecting much. So I'm not disappointed, but I'm underwhelmed with what they decided to do. Number 231. Not even on the same floor. So I'm involved in a dispute. It's a very minor. I'm involved in a dispute with my homeowner company, my homeowner association company. What are my thoughts on Druid for right now? Druid got the least amount of love of any of the characters in here. We can even take a look at the patch notes if we want to, but Druid did not get a lot of love from the mid-season buff that's coming next week. They got probably the shortest set of notes of any of the classes. So that could mean one of two things. Either they're in a very good place, or they just don't care that much about Druids. And I'm going to have to, unfortunately, say it's the latter. They don't care. They're not really pushing for Druids. It's probably not the most played class this season compared to, you got the Spiritborn. 62% of players are playing a Spiritborn character. At least one of their characters is Spiritborn. Pretty amazing stat. The rest of us who are not playing Spiritborn are playing Rogue, Barbarian, Sorcerer, and some Necros for sure. I'm sorry, Exiled. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. But Exiled, Druid did have a day in the sun last season. It was very strong. Last season, Season 5, was very strong. It was a short season, but they finally seemed to get Druid kind of where they wanted it to get to. And, so that's where I think it's at, man. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, bud. My Druid brother in arms, I feel you, man. I didn't make a Druid or haven't yet made a Druid this season. Of course, it's the season you didn't play. Yeah, and it was a pretty good season, Season 5. Even though it was a short season, I felt like there was a lot of new stuff in the game, and they knew that Season 6 was going to be chock full of stuff, and they still made Season 5 pretty interesting, I thought. I thought they did a good job. They just collected all this information recently. So here's the dispute that I'm in. You played Season 4, left for Season 5, and came back for 6. And you missed the best Druid season that they've had yet, unfortunately. My Druid last season had a really good... You're done with the season for all your glyphs are 100 on your Spiritborn, Rich? Right on, dude. That's a pretty hard thing to accomplish, honestly. Is to get all of the glyphs to 100. So, did you guys look at the patch notes from today? I can go over them for you if you want to, but if you already saw patch notes and you already kind of glimpsed them, then you don't need me to go over them. But if you haven't seen patch notes and you're curious, I'll go over the patch notes really quick. There wasn't a lot of stuff in there. You didn't, Josh? Okay. You haven't because you've been at work all day, Exiled? All right, so I'll spend a few minutes on patch notes then, because I did earlier today. And I was going to actually stream when they came out, but I just didn't. I decided to hold off and wait till tonight. And here's the thing that's distressing about getting patch notes before the actual thing hits. Now you know what's coming. Hey, thank you, Exiled. Appreciate that, man. Thanks for the follow. You know, when people follow the show, we always play them a little tune. There you go. That's the new follower song. I think that's going to be the new follower. Every time a follower follows, I'm going to play that chord progression. Because I was working on that earlier today. I was playing that little progression, and I kind of like it. Thank you for the follow, man, and thanks for the likes. Appreciate the likes a lot, man. Josh Rude, woo! So the dude, what's up, the dude? Thanks for hanging out for a few minutes and chilling with us. We're about to go over some patch notes earlier. The patch notes for the season were released. Diablo 4 patch notes. So before I go into the patch notes, I'm in a dispute with the HOA of my building where I live. And the dispute is based on the idea or the problem that they have the wrong parking spot number for me. So they think that there's stuff in my parking spot that has no business being there, and it's not my parking spot. So they've sent me a couple of messages now. They've come at me like aggressively. Like, this is the second time we've had to reach out to you regarding your parking space. Or brr, 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 brr. Because they think there's like stuff cluttering my parking space, which isn't allowed. But they've got the wrong parking space for me. I'm in a totally different space than the space that they're complaining about. They don't have their shit together and they're coming at me with aggression. So the first time I let it slide because I feel bad for the guy that's our building representative who's like the go-between between the I kind of feel bad for him because in another life he might be my friend. He's kind of a cool dude. He's an okay guy. But he is always on the shit end of the stick because he's in between everything. Every time there's a problem, he's in between it. So anyway, this poor freaking guy today, I had to write him a message and I was just like, look, dude, get your shit together. Bryant, help your guy get his shit together. Please and thank you. All right, let's talk about these patch notes from today. It's not a lot. So some runes are getting buffed. And when I say are getting, this is supposed to be Tuesday's release of the patch. Excuse me. So some runes are getting buffed in terms of they're being, they're set off more easily or they trigger more quickly or the duration is increased to a bunch of different runes, right? So some runes got love, right? I don't think anybody was asking for runes to get love, but they gave runes some love. Another thing nobody was asking for was mercenaries to get love. I think we were perfectly fine with where mercenaries were. I was. I didn't read or hear of anyone complaining about. Yeah, I see the exiled. Yeah, definitely, I get it, man. Kyler Kilmer, what's up? Happy St. Louis Blues. Happy. I'm a Rangers fan, St. Louis Blues, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining. Hopefully, you guys have a great season. Dealt with my fair share of HOAs, no doubt. No doubt they're fun to deal with. So many people with just too much time on their hands, right? Okay, so here's the patch notes from today. So nobody was asking for love for runes, but runes got love. No one's asking for mercenaries to get love, but they all got some love. Rahair got love. Buffed taunt duration, buffed number of bonuses, bounces, I should say, shield bounces, increased damage by almost to double. It is double. Increased his cooldown reduction. Just a bunch of nice little buffs for Rahair. A bunch of nice little buffs for Variana. Fewer, but some buffs for Variana. More often people are using Variana as a secondary reinforcement, not as a mercenary. Subo got a few buffs. Doesn't really, I'm using Subo on two of my characters. I love that thing that Subo gives you where you can get dots for all the enemies. I love that. I love that. And then the Aldkin nobody uses and no one cares, so he got buffed. Spiritborn got okay. So here's where you get to the class buffs. Okay. So here's where you get to the stuff that we're all waiting for, right? We all want to see how this turns out. So we got Spiritborn gets buffed, and not obviously Quill Volley, but other builds that were not being used as much, like Toxic Skin, like Rushing Claw. These skills weren't being used as much. So they buffed some Spiritborn skills that weren't being used to make them more powerful and make them more Quill Volley competitive. So that's Toxic Skin, that's Russian Claw, that's Devourer, and then they've got some buffs on passives that you use, right? Which you're not using any of these passives for Quill Volley. Yeah, they're not going to do anything to Quill Volley, dude. Quill Volley is the creme de la creme. There's no point in touching it, right? Let's face it, Quill Volley is the measuring stick by which all other builds, including the other classes, are measured. So, um, it's cool with me that they didn't screw with it. I like it where it is. Spirit Board did not need a buff until you said not Quill Volley. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they're trying to encourage you to play other Quill Volley builds. I mean, not Quill Volley, other Spiritborn builds, which is good. I think they want you to, and they buffed Nescahem the Herald to make it more viable because people that's sharding Nescahem the Herald instantaneously. Maybe now it's more viable, but I doubt it. I think people will still shard it. Low-key Otaku, what's up, man? Fox, what's up? Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while. Appreciate you, man. Thank you guys for all the likes. A couple thousand likes already. Appreciate them very much. Thanks for them likes. Okay, so that's the Spiritborn buffs. Then they talk about some bug fixes in the Dark Citadel. They talk about some mercenary bug fixes, which I don't really care that much about. And then in Cuirassed Undercity, a couple of buffs, a couple of fixes to things that were going wrong with Cuirassed Undercity. Just bug fixes, right? Nothing major, nothing game shattering or game making or game breaking. Oh, we're getting to it, Exile. Don't worry, we're coming to it. Some fixes on, yeah, Nesca the Herald also got buffed in terms of it was marking enemies too slow, so they buffed that. Quests and events, they buffed some things when it came to quests and events. Fixed some bugs. Strongholds, they fixed a couple of bugs. And here's the balance updates. Here you go. This is the meat and potatoes. Base game balance updates. They made it clear that this is where this is the important stuff comes in. #7, what's up, St. Louis Blues? How are you guys? Thanks for hanging out. We're talking about the patch notes from today. Mythic unique items, Shattered Vow. They removed 400% damage to healthy enemies, replaced it with 44% dot duration. What build did I see that was using Shattered Vow? There was a Barbarian build, I think, that was using it. The Barbarian Horde! All right, let's see here. Andario's Visage damage was multiplied by a quarter. Penitent Greaves, chill per second is now 3 times higher. No one is going to be suddenly wearing Penitent Greaves or Endurant Faith, no matter what they do to those items. It's not going to make them more usable. Legendary aspects, a couple of Bold Chieftains is definitely a Barb aspect. Was affected in aspect of adaptability, which is, I think, for everybody. Now effects apply both effects now apply to basic skills, even when they're not cast, like the Free Storm Strike triggered from Great Staff of the Crone. Okay, Barbarian. Here you go. This is your Barbarian stuff. It's a page. Ground Stomp damage more than doubled. Strategic Ground Stomp was buffed. Hammer of the Ancients was buffed by 15%. Again, that's not going to... See, if you were playing Hammer... I was playing Hammer of the Ancients Barbarian. And when I saw that, I'm like, you're not going to go 5 or 10 pit levels higher just because they buffed that 15%. I'm sorry. That's a very underwhelming buff. And I don't care. Like, Hammer of the Ancients was not like one of the top. They could have buffed that a lot more or done more for Hammer of the Ancients. for a build that's been an important barb build for a long time. It seems like it was overlooked. Upheaval damage increased, buffed nicely. Furious upheaval, so all the upheaval stuff is buffed nicely. If you're an upheaval barb, double swing increased by 10%. Nothing serious there. Again, if you were playing a double swing or a Rend Barbarian, you're not going up 10 pit levels off of these changes. You're going to go up 1 or 2 pit levels off these changes. It's not a big deal. Leap damage increased, kick damage increased. Again, now kick damage increased by a lot. Leap damage increased only by 13%. Kick damage increased by triple. More than triple. That's pretty crazy, right? Kick damage must have been really weak. You did double swing in Season 4, yes. Double swing was a lot of fun in Season 4. I did too. I played probably 4 different bar builds in Season 4, double swing being one of them. Exiled, who do you follow for your bar builds? Do you use somebody that you follow, or do you make your own builds? Yeah, Josh Rudy spin to win Whirlwind. Yep. Perry Magia, thanks for hanging out, man. Perry Magia. All right, so we're still talking Barbarian. Iron Skin was buffed. So if you used Iron Skin in your build, that got a nice buff. Fortify increased. Healing per second based on barrier increased. Death Blow barbs. Damage increased by a little bit, not a lot. Yeah, Exiled. We know a guy for barbarians. His name is Cliptis. 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 He's the barbarian king. You use Rob's build, it's right on. I'm pretty sure Cliptis likes Rob too and watches what Rob does for sure. Rob is like a generational talent. Somebody was telling me that Rob doesn't do his own builds. He just steals his builds from Chinese gold farmers. Now, I don't know about that, but that's a bold accusation. That's a mean thing to say. Yes, Cliptis on YouTube. Check him out. Josh Rudy's putting it in chat. Cliptis, Cliptis. Check him out. Join the clan. The Cliptonian Legion is strong and powerful. We've been around for a long time. And there's a lot of knowledgeable barbarians and a lot of knowledgeable people from every class hanging out in our Discord, talking about what's going on in the game, talking about how to make your character better. Rob plays too much. No kidding. All right, let's get back to the patch notes because I'm getting off the track here. All right, Rupture also. Rupture barbs got buffed a little tiny bit. Damage increased by double. Enhanced Rupture got increased. Steel Grasp is getting a little damage increase, which I happen to use right now. I just switched from a Hoda barb. I was playing Whirlwind Hoda, and I just switched from that to playing a straight Mighty Throw barb. And so Steel Grasp is part of my build. So that's a welcome little buff. Mighty Throw base damage increased by half, 50%. Pulse damage increased by 15% over what it was, or 20% over what it was. And then they may say, developers note, this change is to compensate for a bug fix related to the tempering affix that gives a chance to deal double damage. Now, here's the weird thing about that. If you read on maxroll.gg on the Mighty Throw build, it says that Mighty Throw chance to deal double damage isn't working. It's disabled. It's not doing any double damage. They're telling us that they're fixing the bug so that it actually does the percentage it's supposed to do and not activate all the time. So who's right? I don't know. What build looks more fun? Well, Exiled, I've done 2 builds so far, and I can tell you. So let me ask you, do you play on a joystick or do you play on a mouse keyboard? Because it matters. If you play on a mouse keyboard like me, you're probably better off playing a throw barb, a mighty throw barb. You're on PS5, so use a controller. So you could potentially make Whirlwind Hoda work. The reason I say that is because when you're doing Whirlwind Hoda, you're kind of like you're doing one spin and then you're doing a Hammer of the Mighty. One spin, Hammer of the Mighty. One spin, Hammer of the Ancients, I should say, not the Mighty. Hammer of the Ancients. One spin, one whirlwind spin, like you just go in and out, in and out. And it's much easier to manage the control of what you're doing on a controller than it is to do on the mouse keyboard, where if you're moving with your mouse and you're also attacking with your mouse. And so if you're going to play with a joystick, you really have your choice of whatever you want to play. You could play Whirlwind Hoda. You'd have a lot of fun with it. You'd do a lot of damage with it. Or you could go ahead and play Mighty Throw too. Or Bash Barb is coming up now as a good build if you're built right for Bash. If you're playing on mouse keyboard, I highly recommend sticking to the Mighty Throw build. It's easier to play. Positioning isn't as important. Movement isn't as important. Just keeping Mighty Throw up is pretty easy to do, even with a mouse attack. So you can do it. It's the first time I've run into a build that I couldn't play with my mouse keyboard, but I kept running out of Fury. Couldn't keep my Fury up. All right, back to the Barbarian. Heavy-handed, buffed, and that's something that you're getting on your neck probably if you're a Barbarian. So we like those buffs. Yeah, squirrel, flashy. Yes, shiny object, shiny object. Pit fighter gets buffed. You previous was you deal 3% increased damage and gain 2% distant damage reduction. Now it's not going to qualify as distant. It's just giving you two straight up 2% damage reduction straight up from close and distant. Doesn't matter. Okay. No Mercy gets buffed. That's another one you probably have in your Mighty Throw build. You have 3.6.9% increased critical strike chance. Period now. All the time. Doesn't matter against it's not damage on Tuesday like this old setup was. Hey Gage, thanks for hanging out. We got Battle Mad of Sunderground getting buffed, Twin Strikes getting buffed, the Tusk Helm of Jorix, the Mighty getting buffed. Excuse me. Ring of Red Fury getting a big buff. That's a piece that's also used a lot in Whirlwind Hoda, so that's good that that got buffed. Gauges come active probably Tuesday at 12 o'clock Central Time. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say the time because it changes, it varies. Sometimes they're not on time, but usually the patches come out Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Is that right? No, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. That's it. Usually the patches come out Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Time. So that would be 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 2 o'clock Central Time, 1 o'clock for you mountain dwellers. All right, so Blood Rage Legendary Node in the Paragon board gets a big buff. Basically 50% higher damage. And the Decimator Legendary Node bonus was doubled. Both vulnerable damage bonus and overpowered damage bonus. So that helps overpower barbs, of which pretty much everyone is one. I haven't seen a barb build yet that didn't somehow try to utilize overpower in its makeup. So overpower getting buffed is huge. All right, Druid. Druid had the shortest set of notes of any of the classes. Lavender Junk Removal, how are you? What's up? Happy Friday night. So Druids got Tornado buffed, Stormstrike got buffed, Rabies got a little bit buffed, Grizzly Rage, one with Nature, Ursine Strength gets a nice buff, Bestial Rampage for Werebear and Werewolf attack speed, Lupine Ferocity gets a buff, Earthen Might, base chance is buffed, bonus chance for critical strikes, bonus chance for hitting, blah blah, damage on Tuesdays. Whenever I see this stuff, I start to just, my mind starts to go, okay, whatever. Now you have to build that obviously into your build to trigger that, but it's reasonable to think that you should. Hey Drew Smith, good happy Friday night. Nature's Fury gets buffed pretty well. Death Jester, what's up, man? Perfect Storm gets buffed. Spirit Boons, whole bunch of Spirit Boon buffs, and unique items got buffed. Not really much with the Paragon. Hey Death Jester, what's up, man? Happy Friday night to you. We're just talking about patch notes real quick before we get into the game. The patch notes that were released earlier today that will take effect on Tuesday. I will gladly pay you Tuesday for patch notes today. Necromancer. Not much going for Necromancer. Very short patch notes for Necro. Skills Decompose gets a buff. Hemorrhage gets a buff. Bone Splinters gets a pretty nice buff. Think another class will come in Season 7? No way. We would have heard about it already. I don't think we're going to get another class for probably a year. I want double boss mats. Is that what you're saying, Rich? It says, I want double boss M. I want a Rod of Kapalaki for your sorcerer. All right, well, we could probably stir one of those up for you. Double boss mats, yeah. Boss mats are pretty hard to farm up right now. It takes some doing. All right, so Necromancer, Decompose, Hemorrhage, Bone Splinters all get buffs. Bone Splinters didn't really need a buff, but that got a nice little buff. Reap got buffed. Nobody's playing that. Bone Storm got a nice fat buff. It's almost double damage from what it was before. Evulsion gets a little buff for the Evulsion passive. You got a bunch of mats, Josh? Cool, man. Maybe we could run a couple people through some boss runs. I have some boss mats, too. I have like 46 Uber Duriel runs and probably another 40 Indariel runs off the top of my head. Let's see here. Shadow Blight, Gloom, Affliction. So all of the passives for Necromancers got buffed. All of your passives got a nice buff. Some buffed more than others. Evulsion got a small buff. Compound Fracture got a small buff. Gloom got a little small buff. But Shadow Blight got a heavy buff. And Affliction got a pretty heavy buff if you're a Necro. Legendary aspects, a couple changes. Unique items, Deathless Visage, which no one's going to use. Morticrux got doubled. Will they add new mythics? That's a great question. I don't know, man. I think they need to fix the mythics they have in the game now before they add any new ones. They only have really 5 out of the 14 mythics that are really heavily used. The rest of them are sharded. Will they add more Paragon levels? I don't think they'll do that. And I'll tell you why, Exiled. They don't want it to become Diablo 3. I think the way they have it set up right now, Paragon levels, once you get past 250, you're really only a hardcore player. If you're a Paragon level 270 or higher, you're probably a hardcore player. You probably play the game an awful lot, and or you use opals all the time. Um, so you don't see a ton of people running around with Paragon level 300, do you? It's not that easy of a thing to reach. I know a guy that's shooting for it, and it's just taking forever and ever. It seems as if they're moving. So it does seem as if they're moving towards somewhat. So, and there's a certain amount of that exiled that's very healthy and good. There's a certain amount of that you can't even get to T4 Death Jester on what kind of character. Which character are you playing that you can't get to T4, or which class I should say? Because we can help you. Um, I like some movement towards Diablo 3 because Diablo 3 had a lot of stuff figured out. It'd been a game for a long time. They had a lot of good stuff figured out in Diablo 3 that they should have brought to Diablo 4 when the game was launched. Quentin Jones, what's up, man? How are you? Great to see you. Mechanic Mike, thanks for hanging out, man. Spiritborn, built for Rock Splitter and Thorns, right on. So you're playing, so dude, so this is so cool. You're playing Spiritborn, but you're not playing the cookie cutter, flavor of the month build. I love it. What are your glyphs at, Death Jester? How high are your glyphs? That's probably part of it, and masterworking's probably part of it too. Usually that's the case. When people are telling me they're struggling at getting further deeper into torment levels, it's because they need higher glyphs and they need their and by the way, if you can see right over my head, that's my Blizzard ID, Diablo 10 number 1357. Send me a friend request. We'll play together. Not very high. I have two at level 47, the other three in the 30s. Yeah, that's a big deal, dude. So when you get all of your glyphs up to 46, and then you get your master working up to 8 across the board, you'll be ready for T4. You'll certainly be ready for T4. It's Mia Wheezy. What's up, Mia Wheezy? I wanted to do a rake build on Spiritborn, but I don't know what made me do Quill Volley. I love Quill Volley. You're welcome, Death Jester. And if you want to, we'll run some pits with you and help you level up your glyphs. I'll get on my Spiritborn and run you through some stuff. See, this is one of the biggest complaints I have about the game right now. Is if you can't level your own glyphs up by running T100, how are you supposed to do higher level content? You're supposed to do T100. So it's like this. You get locked into this really, unless you're a Spiritborn Quill Volley player, or you have one of the other high level builds. You need a Spiritborn player to help you get your glyphs up, right? If you're a rogue or if you're a necromancer or a sorcerer, you're not leveling your own glyphs up to 100. Someone's helping you do that in pits, and then after that you might be able to get up there. Of course, Clinton. That's why I have my stuff up there so you can join me. Please do. I'm just going over the patch notes really quick, Quentin, and then we're gonna jump in and play some. So cool, man. I run solo 95% of the time unless my brother is on, and then we jam. Yeah, me too, dude. The only time I started playing with other people a lot when I started streaming a lot. Prior to that, I didn't play. I played mostly solo. And then once I started streaming and started getting good stuff, and now I can help people, and I like doing that. So it's part of the community. I need some glyphs leveled also on your source. Okay, well we'll do that, dude. I'll run. I can run a Spiritborn can carry 110, so no problem. I only run solo sadly because none of my friends don't want to get into Diablo with me. I have the same problem, dude. None of my friends all think Diablo's like a nerd game. They all want to play. My friends that play games play sports games mostly. I play hockey with my buddy. I play golf, video. I play. He used to play Madden. We used to play Madden together, but we don't really play Madden anymore. But mostly my friends want to play sports games. They're not into the detailed chase of the ARPG. All right, so let's go to Rogue. Important, very important. How Rogue was treated is important to me. It's my favorite class is Rogue. I started this season with a Rogue. I start every season with a Rogue. So here's what came for Rogues. Yeah, it's either that or any FPS game right on Exiled. I feel you. I played Fortnite for ages with my closest friend, my sports game friend, also plays Fortnite. I got him playing Fortnite. He still plays. I'm done. I'm too old for that game, man. That game passed me by. All right, so let's talk about Rogue, my favorite. Rogue Invigorating Strike got damaged. Forceful Arrow got damaged. So you only care about these. These are, these are basic skills. Twisting Blades got a buff of 16%. Eh. Really, dudes? What? How many times do they have to buff Twisting Blades for them to realize it's broken beyond repair? They need to put it back the way it was in Season 1. You stopped playing Fortnite in Chapter 1, Season 6, right on. I stopped playing long, long, long after that. Fortnite was good. You're right, Death Jester. You're right. You're 100% right. Death Jester is nailing it because I played a lot of Save the World, Death Jester. I played both. In fact, I'll tell you, I think playing Save the World made me a much better PvPer in Fortnite for the reason of a couple reasons. One is it made me a better builder. Two, it made me a better aimer. And three, it made me perform under pressure because when you have 10 million zombies coming at you, it's freaking really hard. You've been trying Black Ops 6, Rich, right on. That's got to be. So Black Ops 6 is not very dissimilar from what Fortnite Save the World is like. Fortnite Save the World just throws a million zombies at you all the time, basically. And you're killing them all while you're doing other missions like making a building or hunting down a certain number of X. I was looking so forward to it and was sad for a short while because Back for Blood came out. How is Back for Blood? I played that game for about 5 minutes and I didn't stay with it. That game didn't grab me. It had a chance. I gave it a chance, but it didn't grab me. You played Black Ops 6 for 2 days. Hey, Ninja. What's up, man? How are you? Hey, thanks for stopping through, Vienna. I saw you playing Soulstone Survivors the other day. Oh, Quentin. Cool. Thank you so much for supporting me on both channels. I really appreciate that, man. Very cool. Thank you, Ninja. All right, so Rogue. Invigorating Strikes, Forceful Arrow, Twisting Blades got a tiny buff. Penetrating Shot got a pretty good buff. If you play Pen Shot Rogue, you're probably happy to see that. Plus Advanced Pen Shot. When cast with full energy, Pen Shot will slow everything by 50% for 3 seconds. Elite enemies are knocked down. Now, when cast with full energy, Penetrating Shot will slow all enemies it hits by 50% for 3 seconds. Elite enemies will take 50. Like, why is it so confusing to play Pen Shot, dude? Why is Pen Shot always such a... It's too complicated to play Pen Shot. Pen Shot is very damage on Tuesdays. And they should recognize... Like, it's funny because Adam Fletcher talks about damage on Tuesdays. He's got a T-shirt made. I want to point this paragraph out to him. Right on, that's on the screen that's in front of me and just go, dude, come on. That's damage on Tuesdays, dude. Did Mighty Throw get buffed? Yes, it did. But it sort of got buffed and not buffed at the same time, Mechanic Mike, because here's what happened. They fixed it so that it doesn't always do double damage if you have the affix. If you have your masterworking, if you have tempered for Mighty Throw to do double damage, it's been doing it all the time. So that's not going to happen anymore after Tuesday. So they did buff Mighty Throw kind of to offset the fixing of the Mighty Throw doing double damage. Because right now, Mighty Throw is doing double damage all the time if you have the affix even if it only says 32% or whatever number it says, it doesn't matter. It's doing it all the time. So they did buff Mighty Throw, but it's sort of a if they're taking $5 out of your front pocket and putting $5 in your back pocket is how to describe it. Hopefully season 7 will be better than season 6. Well, of course, I hope the next season is always better than the last one. I think that the balance, Low-Key Otaku, across the board in classes will be much more balanced next season than it is this season. Look, they just made a new class. They wanted it to blow everything in the way out of the water. It does it. Did they fix Call of the Ancients? Let's go back to Barb because people are asking some Barb questions. So we'll go back up to Barb because we had already done that, but I'll go back up for you. So Barb, Call of the Ancients, nothing was done with Call of the Ancients. It's not broken, as far as I know, Mechanic Mike. I use Call of the Ancients on my Mighty Throw Barb, and it functions incredibly well. It seems to kill elites for me. It knocks boss health down from 100 to 20%, like that. The seasonal aspect is a miss. I totally agree, dude. It's a total miss. No one's using it. And not only that, but the class balance being so out of whack isn't all that fun after a while. You thought there was a bug with it. No, there's no bug with it. It's working as intended. Mighty Throw. So here's the Mighty Throw story, dude, since you were asking. So base damage on Mighty Throw was increased by a half, basically, from 80 to 120, so it's a 50% increase. And pulse damage increased from 35 to 55%. And then they say this change is to compensate for a bug fix related to the tempering affix that gives a chance to deal double damage. And then further down, they tell you they fixed that temper. Where does it say it? I know I saw it. But anyway, they fixed the temper. Oh, thanks for the follow, man. Thanks for the follow. We got a new follower. So we'll play the follower tune. Yeah, thanks for the follow, buddy. We got a couple of follows there. Thank you, guys. Mechanic Mike, Death Jester, Exiled shared the live. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the information. Appreciate the opportunity to give it to you, buddy. Okay, so I got Ninja in Twitch, and I want to see what Ninja's saying because he's got okay. So Quentin Jones is saying, "Hey, they're gonna nerf Spiritborn into the ground so it's virtually unplayable like Barb is now." I wouldn't say that, Ninja. That's a very pessimistic outlook on what is their favorite class. Spiritborn is their favorite class. You think they're going to take a dump on it like that? I don't think so. I don't agree. I think they're going to. I see what you're saying with the rawhide issue. Absolutely. If you roll, and a lot of people don't think there's an issue with mats, and I would say those people don't re-roll their stuff. So Ninja, so I think what's going to happen is this. There's that the thing that's making Quill Volley do the kind of damage it's doing right now are unintended interactions between skills. So what's going to happen after this season is they're going to fix those unintended interactions to not be unintended anymore. So they won't. So Spiritborn won't be able to whip in trillions like it's doing today because it won't be able, the skills won't have the interactions with each other that are multiplicative like they do right now. So they're not nerfing Spiritborn. They're correcting what they should have fixed to begin with, which is the interactions the unintended interactions between different skills and different gear that Spiritborn people are exploiting. Right? That's what we're doing. We're basically taking the way the game works and maximizing the shit out of it. And that's why it works. So, yeah, Lord Kiyotaku, I agree with you. So, their baby right now is Spiritborn. They love Spiritborn. They don't want to hurt it too much. They want it to. The problem is Blizzard doesn't know how to balance. All they do is nerf, nerf, nerf. I don't think they did that in the beginning. They did that in season 1, and the player base cracked on the knuckles for it hardcore. So now they're not doing that anymore. So like I don't think they're doing that anymore, dude. They're not nerfing the shit into the ground like they used to do. Um I say that, and as I say that I'm thinking about, okay, am I sure I agree with that? Cuz there's a couple of cases where I would say, yeah, they nerfed some shit into the ground pretty bad. Like Twisting Blades Rogue, for example, is a perfect. If you wanted to argue with me, you could say, "How what about Twisting Blades Rogue, Dante? What do you think about that?" I would be like, yeah, they nerfed that shit into the ground. What about Victimize and Andario's Visage, Dante? They nerfed that shit into the ground, didn't they? Yeah, yep, they did. They did do that. So yeah, you're right, Quentin. You're not wrong, bro. Infinite Rage, what's up? How are you, man? Great to see you. I've been watching your show. Thanks for hanging out with me, dude. It's great to see you. We're just talking about patch notes. We were down to talking about Rogue. Path of Exile 2 is going to hurt D4. The patch still makes other classes not playable until Season 7. This patch is not going to help anybody go from Pit 80. You'll go from Pit 80 to Pit 83. Or Pit 90 to Pit 94. But you're not going to blast through the roof off the mid-season patch. You're 100% right, Infinite Rage. And so Path of Exile 2 is only going to hurt Diablo 4 because Diablo 4 players love this style of game. It's not because Path of Exile is that much better of a game. It may be, I don't know. Like we'll see when it comes out. We've already seen some play style allowed. I wanted to continue playing Andy's Barrage in Season 6. Yeah, so they nerfed that into the ground, dude. The victimized passive is the reason that that's unplayable. And so they tried to give it back today. That's one thing they did buff is Andario's Visage now does 4,000% damage instead of 3,000%. That's a pretty serious buff. 33% more damage than you had before. It maybe Andario's makes a comeback off that. We'll see on Tuesday and Wednesday once people start playing with the new rules. I think Path of Exile 2 is going to be a better game overall. Spiritborn is the only class worth playing right now. Well, it's the only class that can kill major bosses, and it's the only. So it's like the problem is you have a severe hockey stick drop off between Spiritborn, Quill Volley, and everything else. And so whenever there's one class that can just absolutely dominate the content, the whole rest of the game really suffers, right? It's punished. But I would not agree with the idea that Spiritborn is the only class worth playing. I had fun playing Rogue. I played Rogue. I can't get to Pit 150 with it, but I had fun playing it. I had fun playing Barbarian right now. I'm having fun playing it. So I wouldn't say it's like not worth playing other classes. It's just you're not going to do the same amount of content with them no matter what you do. You're not going to go do Pit 150 with anything other than a Quill Volley Spiritborn that's maxed out and set up to maximize every single glyph and exploit that you possibly can exploit. You can't have another class and play with someone playing with Spiritborn. Yeah, you can't keep up. It's absolutely true. That I totally agree with Infinite Rage. If you like playing by yourself and just challenging yourself to see how high, like challenging to see How far can I go with this character? I like playing some of the other classes too. I haven't played any Necromancer. That's not fun this season. I haven't played any Druid. I haven't heard anybody going, "Oh, Druid's so fun this season." It's not. Um, but I started the season with Rogue. I didn't play a Spiritborn first, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I played my Rogue first because if I'd have gone the other way, if I'd have went from Spiritborn to Rogue, it would have sucked. But since I went from Rogue to Spiritborn, I got to see progression happen inside the game. So I guess I got lucky because I didn't follow the tribe into the Spiritborn. I didn't dive right into the Spiritborn pool. Yeah, it's only fun if everyone's playing Spiritborn or everyone's not playing Spiritborn. Absolutely, absolutely. So you're not wrong about that, your Infinite Gauge, and there's some danger there that can make the game less fun and less playable. No doubt. No doubt. Okay, let's get back to. Hey, thank you so much for the TikToks, buddy. We always give gifts, riffs for gifts. So let's get a riff going. Let's see. This time I'm not going to play chords. I'm going to play a little. Let's see what do we got here. Yeah. All right, thanks. Thank you for the gift, man. I really appreciate it. And I hope the riff matched the gift. That was really cool of you. Thank you, man. Thanks for the diamonds. Okay, so here we go. Storm Chasers. We were in Rogue. We had gotten by Druid. The Necromancer has not that many notes at all. Rogue got buffs to. So we were talking about pen shot and how penetrating shot is so damage on Tuesdays. It's just not fun to play. Flurry got some good damage buff, but really nothing that's going to explode you into, doing a higher pit level. Advanced Flurry gets a little buff. Rapid Fire gets a little buff. I really want Ice Shards to be good. I love that build. Ice Shards so much fun to play, dude. Ice Shards is so much fun to play. Dash base increased. Base damage increased. Dash is not like it's so funny they buff dash damage. Dash is not there for you to do damage with. Dash is there for mobility. Buff how far you go with dash. Buff how many times I can dash in a second, or per lower the cooldown. What the hell is base damage to dash doing for me? The kind of stuff that drives me. No one was asking for damage to dash. It's not going to make me use dash more just because you added damage to it. That's just a throwaway dot. I don't need to see this line, right? You're just adding nonsense. There's no reason for that. Dance of Knives. Okay, so here's what I was looking for because I'm a Dance of Knives rogue. Added that its damage is increased by attack speed in the tooltip. That's not a buff. That's just a tooltip change. Improve the distance tracking. Okay, whatever that means. Base damage increase from 64 to 86. That's kind of specific. Note that these percentages relate to when a one-handed weapon is equipped. Well, duh. That's all a rogue can equip for Dance of Knives. Well, I'll have to make sure. Headed to put kid to bed. Have a great stream. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you stopping Infinite Rage Gaming. Thank you for hanging out, man. Great to see you. Thank you. Thanks again for the diamonds too. Daniel B, what's up? Yes, it was on the deed. Yes. Yes. Let's put it on. Let's put on the fight. I got to see what happens with this fight, dude. I don't know what's wrong with me. Thank you, Infinite Rage. Holy crap, dude. With the gifts, man. Oh, they're coming in. They're just. I knew that this is why I wasn't worried about like missing the beginning of it because I knew we're gonna an hour. Yeah, we got an hour of this crap going on. Did I somehow start a timer? That's funny. Okay, so I have 3 Spirit Borns. Yeah, with that buff, the 4GA Andy Helm might be useful now. Yes, that's what I was thinking, Clinton. I have 3 Spiritborn. I have Crushing Hands, Volley, Evade. I made Evade for speed farming pits for Paragon levels. How's that working out, dude? So I've got to tell you, and it's funny, my audience disappeared because this fight's coming on. I can't. What's up, Holland? Hey, Valdris, what's up? Jarrude, how are you? Thanks for joining. It's great to see you guys. We're just going through the buffs and stuff to Rogue here. Smoke Grenade got a buff. Okay, so Dancing Knives got a very specifically weird number of buff from 64 to 86. We're buffing it by 22%. Like, why was that? I don't know. Okay, Smoke Grenade got buffed. Lower cooldown, base damage increased. Countering Concealment. Concealment got buffed. It, yeah, well, it got fixed, I should say. Shadow Imbuement. Damage to single enemies when the infection expires increase to 60%. That's actually pretty good for my build. Passives. Deadly Venom increased by double. Exploit increased by quite a bit, and that's already a very powerful skill. So that's kind of cool. Victimize can happen much more frequently than before. Damage scaling is a little bit buffed, but this got nerfed so badly that that's not going to fix it. Alchemical Admixture. That's one of those passives. They just scaled it up more. Precision higher scaling, close quarters combat higher scaling, momentum damage per stack very slightly increased. Which that also, by the way, helps the Dance of Knives Rogue, if you were wondering. Exposure, no one cares. Paragon, so probably using Leyrana's Instinct. But I don't use Inner Sight. Blade Dancers, so this is specifically goes along with Twisting Blades, and they've buffed Blade Dancers so many times, and they've buffed Twisting Blades so many times, and it's still so weak and useless and sad. And it really disappoints me because that was the Season 1, Season 2, you could not beat the Twisting Blades Rogue. It was the strongest power damage doer in the game. And it's just been relegated to shit. It's really disappointing. I sadly don't have Netflix, so I can't watch it. All right, cool. So I'll live stream it for you, dude. So suffice it to say, they're making their entrances, and it's going to be an hour of entrances, right? All the pomp and circumstances and all that entails. When they come in, they're going to do their dance. We got to see them all come in and everything. So that we're in that phase we're in the preparatory phase where everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about what's going to happen. Oh man. So far you're not missing anything. All right, let's see. Condemnation, Pit Fighter's Gull. Again, buffs to items that are. So if you're using Condemnation, you're psyched because you're getting a nice buff. But you're not going to switch to Condemnation just because this core damage went up. Pit Fighter's Gull, same thing. Critical damage increased by 12%. I don't think anyone's going to switch to the Pit Fighter's Gull just because of that. That's a great question, Matthew David. I don't know off the top of my head, but I do know where we can find out. So let's take a look at Diablo.trade and answer your question for you. Yeah, right. So let's take a look. So we're going to go to the marketplace for items, and then we're going to go to the filter, and we're going to go to unique items, and we want the rod of Kepaliki. Now he said couple GAs, so we'll keep an eye out for that, and a perfect aspect roll, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Sold listings. Okay, so now we know what they're selling. They're actually selling for. All right, so here's one with a perfect aspect roll, 5 billion. Single GA, 2 billion. Single GA, 5 billion. Whoa, look at these 4 GAs. Couple of perfect ones. 86 billion for a 3 GA, 3%. Here you go. 2 GA, 3%, about 10 billion. 20 billion, Matthew. Star says about 20 billion. Yeah, that sounds about right. 10 to 20 billion. Here, these are 3 GA with not perfect roll, single GA with a perfect roll, 2 GA with a perfect roll, 20 billion. One more time, what was the website? It's called Diablo.trade. It's called Diablo.trade. Yep, you got it. That's where I do all my reference shopping to figure out what things ought to cost. You're welcome, dude. Yeah, trade chat's hard to really find anything out in, Matthew. You can use that, and you just have to filter down to what you're looking for. But yeah, you're very unlikely to find anything good in trade chat, other than annoying people. I'm often in trade chat myself, so. All right. The Shearer's Can Jar got a nice buff that should help me out a little bit on my Dance of Knives Rogue. Scoundrel's Kiss gets a buff. Nobody's using Scoundrel's Kiss. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. Rapid Fire, I believe, is using Scoundrel Kiss. But I don't think a lot of people are playing Rapid Fire Rogue this season. Anyway, so again, you like with Rogue, some specific builds got some small buffs, but it's nothing that's going to change your life, dude. And the same is true of Sorcerer. Same for Sork. Meteor damage. So if you're playing Meteor, you're getting a little buff. Hydra got a buff. Currently trying to do an OP overpower flurry build. Interesting, dude. With Andariels or without? And what are you using for a key passive with that? Are you using Victimize or are you using something else? Yes, that's true, Quentin. The market of D4, things are selling for a gold cap. Yep. Did a Bone Spirit on my Necro and it was hitting 200 billion plus. Holy crap. I didn't know Bone Spirit was that powerful, dude. I haven't been hitting that hard with my you're using a Shaco? Right on. What did you miss? I don't know. Are you watching the Tyson Jake Paul fight, Joey? Because that's coming on. It's getting interesting. Bone Spirit, Bone Prison is my build. It's optimized to the roof, though. It has to be. That's the only way you can do, right? I mean, what are we talking about right now? We're just talking about this. We still haven't started playing the game, Joey. We're still talking patch notes. No, it's not a scam, Matthew. It's not a scam. In fact, it keeps you from getting scammed because people who are selling you stuff have to log in with their battle.net so they can't scam you. Or A lot less. It's going to be a lot harder for people to scam you since they actually have to find you using Battle.net. So it's not a scam, dude. I'm signed into them all the time. Yes, it was very. I'm sure it was very hard to get the perfect masterworks and gear, and it probably cost you a lot of abducite remasterworking to get the right hits on your masterworking, bro. That's probably pretty crazy. You're a dedicated enthusiast. I like it. And I love that about you. Okay, so Sorcerer. Meteor got buffed, Hydra got buffed, familiar damage. I mean like come on, dude. No, it's okay, Matthew. No problem. You're smart to ask. You're better off asking than not asking and getting screwed, that's for sure. um Incinerate damage, pretty good buff. Veer's mastery gets doubled. Nobody was using that probably. That's why it got buffed so hard. Combustion, previous, your burning effects deal, blah blah, 60% multiplicative damage, additional. So they're switching it. They're switching it from damage on Tuesdays to damage on Wednesdays. There are a few accounts that aren't official battle tags, but they're blacklisted when you first log. Yeah, they show you. Don't do business with these people. And there's a blacklist, they tell you who not to do business with. But you'd have to be working on a pretty large scale to run into one of those guys. You know? You'd have to have some expensivest shit. What's up, that guy? All right. Avalanche got buffed as well. Legendary aspects got buffed. Charged flash, overheating, piercing cold. So here's some ice shards stuff. We were talking about ice shards earlier. So previously, the aspect of piercing cold, ice shards pierce 3 to 19 times, dealing 25 to 5 less damage per. So it would decrease. Now it's going from that to doing. It's damage on Tuesdays to damage on Wednesdays. Rogue. So Joey Rogue got buffed across the board. Dancing Knives got a buff. Twisting Blades got a buff. Pen Shot got a buff. Flurry got a buff. But they're all small buffs, dude. Nothing that's gonna take you anywhere. Nothing, if you were doing Pit 70 before with your Rogue, you're gonna be doing Pit 73 with it now. It's not gonna be anything big. So you were right when we were talking the other day. They did a lot of buffs to a lot of things. But they did minimal buffs across the board. They didn't do anything really big to anything. Lots of little touches. I'm watching this quote unquote fight. All right, let's see. Paragon board stalagmite glyph. Increased ice spikes bonus. Mike's going to win, and it doesn't matter about rig or not rig. Mike is going to knock Jake Paul's head off of his neck, with whether it's rigged or not. Hopefully they buff the ancestral drop rates. I would say hopefully that too, but I don't think so. Low-key otaku. Um, I think they're thinking about touching that next season. I don't think they're doing that this season. I think they're happy with where the drop rates are right now. I think they're alone in that, but I think they're talking about something for next season. Hey, Blackout. Does it make sense to not bring everything up to Spiritborn damage? Well, it makes the rest of the season pretty lame, is what it does. We had Infinite Rage Gaming in here earlier saying, the between this kind of I'm also streaming right now. So, yeah, my friends are talking about this fight. I guess I'll be playing next season. Yeah, it's I hate being a downer. I want to be somebody who lifts up the game and like pushes it, but I got to say this patch is pretty underwhelming based on the patch notes. And I don't think it's going to get anybody to play more than they are right now. I think people will blaze out on D4 and probably play some other games. And then you have Path of Exile that's coming out. What was it? And within a week, right? A week or two. And so those two things are going to take a big chunk out of Diablo 4. The rest of the season is kind of shot, and Path of Exile coming out at the same time. All right, so let's see what else is here. More bug fixes, Party Finder. Who's using Party Finder? Are you guys using Party Finder, and what are your experiences with it? Oh, we got intros? I think I'm going to call the stream, dude, because I want to watch this fight. I want to see this guy knock this dude's head off. Hey, Mike Gia, what's up, buddy? How are you? Mike is my UVW representative. How are you, Mike? Great to see you, man. We're just getting ready to play the game here, and we got some patch notes we're dealing with from today. Thank you for the gifts, Mike. Right on. Thank you for the likes, too. Oh, is it pre-fight, too? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a pre-fight fight. The undercard fight. I should I should crank up some popcorn and sit down and like watch this shit. When they bring Spiritborn down, how any character clear 100 pit? Well, I'd see this is the thing. I don't think they'll bring Spiritborn down as much as everybody expects. And I think they'll have to bring other things up to meet Spiritborn. I don't think they'll be able to bring Spiritborn down as far as everything else is now. And if they did do that, see, this is the thing. We were talking about this earlier. Spiritborn is their baby, dude. Spiritborn is their favorite class right now. They're in love with it. They're not going to cripple their baby. They're not going to hurt their baby too much. They'll put their baby in line. They'll tweak their baby a little bit, but they're not going to hurt their baby too much because that thing's a moneymaker. Spiritborn cranking out Uber bosses like they were paper is a moneymaker. They like that. They want that to work. My Sork is clearing pit 100. It's a struggle and I can't do it in 2 minutes, but it's possible. Right on, dude. And I think that's possible with Barbarian. I think it's possible with Dance of Knives Rogue. I think it's possible you're saying with Sorcerer. So I think there's definitely some classes. Now, did you get your Sorcerer's glyphs to 100 by yourself? I doubt it. I doubt that. Right? You probably got some help from a Spiritborn character that helped you level up your glyphs. Because I don't think any of us are whipping through on our own unless you're Spiritborn. Okay, so nobody said anything about when I asked about the stupid party finder, nobody said shit about it because nobody's using it. I tried it one time and it didn't work. That was my commentary on the Party Finder. Gameplay Barbarian. Fixed an issue where chance for Mighty Throw to deal double damage temper was always applying its bonus. A compensatory buff has been introduced as can be seen above. So they explain that whole thing. If you were on Barbarian, now you know. If you were a Mighty Throw Barb, right now, the double damage temper is always applying its bonus. And that's going to change on Tuesday. It won't do that anymore. But they've also buffed Mighty Throw to compensate for that change. So they're, like I said, they're taking $5 out of your front pocket and putting $5 in your back pocket. Druid fixed an issue where chance to shred to hit twice, tempering X was doing other things. Necromancer fixed issues where blood orbs, blah, blah, blah. The rogue got Shadow Step fixed and countering concealment that was getting removed immediately after stealth broke and it's not supposed to. Sorcerer fixed issues where if the familiar didn't interact with enlightenment. You used Party Finder and got some mythics from it. Okay. Blackout, you use Party Finder? Now, when you guys use Party Finder, what are you using it for? I tried using it once for Dark Citadel, and I couldn't get a group to actually work. I couldn't get it to like bring me in. Yeah, we got the undercard fight that's going. Your glyphs aren't even 100 yet. Yeah. All right, well, let's work on... I gotta move. I'm gonna log in my Spiritborn and help people tonight instead of trying to get help for my Barb. I have to run full team in pit to get extra XP. Yeah. I can see that. You used it for boss runs. Okay. So here's the current state of my Barbarian, dude.
I forge more than horseshoes and nails. What do you need?
Current state of the Barb. Air of Perdition. Shroud of False Death, which I'm about to put on my Spiritborn. Gloves that don't have the right affixes on them because I need ranks to core skills on the gloves. Barb is okay. Poison Tooth, it's not great. I would say it's just as good as Rogue, which isn't very good. I would say the ceiling for the build I'm using right now is probably about pit 90. I haven't gotten up there yet. I haven't tested it out and really pushed it yet. And I don't have the gear to really push it yet. You can see I need a better third blade. I need a better neck. I need more masterworking on my stuff to really push. But I could see this hitting pit 90 if it was fully masterworked. And I had a better neck and a better third blade. It's okay. I'll tell you what, I don't like Whirlwind Hoda because I can't play it on my mouse keyboard. I'm playing Mighty Throw instead, and I like that a lot more. But what I was going to do was I was going to drop my... Ooh. I'm going to take off... I'm sharing the Shroud of False Death with another character. So I'm going to take my gems out of it, and then I'm going to put it in my bag for my Spiritborn. Murgoth, how are you, man? Happy Friday night. Hope you're smiling. Great to see you. Keith, great to see you. Superjoint 4212, what's up? Like that name? Superjoint. That's good. All right, let's see. Spiritborn. Put on my chest. Put on my Pock. K rune, and I'm ready to go. All right. So, did you send me a friend invite, Clinton? In case you guys didn't see it, there he is. Right on. I didn't even realize that, Quentin. Um, does anybody else want to be run through high-level pits? I had somebody else that was hoping to join me earlier. Mr. Clean, 22 years. How are you, man? Hey, I'm a friend of Bill's. In case you know the reference. Jay Wizzle, what's up, man? How are you? I gave you a lot of boss mats last season. Well, hell, thank you. You probably ran me through a lot of bosses. All right, let's see. Let's go pit. Blackout, how close are you to 300 Paragon? You got to be getting close. I was talking about you earlier, your quest to hit 300 Paragon. He's at like 295, 296 at least. Maybe 297 at this point. 298 at this point. Right on, dude. You're so close, dude. If you want to join, I have room in the party. Emma hit 300 already. Holy crap. All right, let's give this a shot. We'll do 110. I don't know if I can do 110, but we should be able to. The last 10 levels are so rough, man. Yeah, I totally agree. All right, here we go. I would have been 300, but keep working on gear to triple roll. Yep, I got you. I love trying to re-roll. I can't get my hands on enough Abducite. You couldn't give me enough Abducite to stop re-rolling. The defender guy was in my way. You need 3 more gear items to triple roll. Right on, man. I would have a very hard time getting 2 and not getting the 3rd and then going back anyway and trying for it again. Either, yeah, Undercity Refinement for a lot of Abducite. Yeah, that's the best way. Come on, defender. Where's this guy going? What you guys running just pits? Yes, Noah, how are you? Great to see you, man. Happy Friday. We're running pits until the Tyson-Jake Paul fight starts. Quote-unquote fight. The massacre. When's the fight start? We don't know, dude. There's an undercard fight on right now. It'll start whenever they can get these guys to come out there. They gotta wake Tyson up from his grandpa nap, and Jake Paul has to come off YouTube to come get on. Yeah. Exhibition, smexhibition. I want to see somebody's head get knocked off. Well, here's a channeling shrine. You can't. It's one thing you can't do when you're playing Hodabarb is take a channeling shrine. As you can see, my Spiritborn is not totally maximized, so it's not ripping up. It's not ripping this up. I haven't really looked at it in a while. I probably need to take another look at it. There's probably been a few upgrades to Spiritborn since I last checked that I need to take advantage of. I'm not seeing trillions out of this character. I'm seeing billions, but I'm not seeing trillions and quadrillions like some people are seeing. But again, I don't have it maximized. My neck is terrible. My neck is terrible on this character. Your stacks, yeah, you're using, I'm not using the double circle. I'm not even using one circle. Wow, that's crazy, Blackout. Yeah, the ones I'm using are already 100. You're not a run circle either, just stack build? Oh, crap. Well, what? Sure, you can hop in, Noah. Send me a group invite. There he is. What's up, Noah? Thanks for joining. Oh, I forgot I had myself set to Curast. I gotta set myself to Saragar. Jesus, we was fighting the same two mobs the whole pit. Couldn't die, but couldn't kill anything. Right on. I'm gonna jump it down to 100 so we can go faster. Nope, somebody missed it. All right, here we go. This might be easier for you guys to kill stuff in. Claimed 145 pin carrying 2 in 7 minutes. Holy smokes. That is fast. Do you think you can clear 150 carrying? If you got 145 carrying 2, you can definitely carry to 150. Was gonna try, but it got laggy. Wow, how did I get pushed out of that situation? I gotta take another look and see what the latest is on Spiritborn. Damn it, I did it again. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. I feel the same way. It's more important to get the extra glyph upgrade than it is to survive. Hey, what's that? A glaive and another quarterstaff. Neither of which is useful to me.
Sings on your return.
I need stuff on my barbarian. But my barbarian cannot help in here. Who's carrying us through here anyway? Is it me? Because if somebody else in this group is capable of carrying, I'd like to take my barb. I think Noah's whipping through it. It is Noah. He doesn't slow down. Yeah, he doesn't need my help. He can carry this. Noah, do you mind if I bring my barb? Oh, she cleared out this whole area already. Hey, we got another follow from Blackout. Thank you for following me on both channels, Blackout. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. You can switch to your spear. You don't have to switch. I think we can do it without it. I think Noah's got it, dude. Oh shoot! I should have. It doesn't really matter. I don't know why I need to put the chest on. I don't really need to put the chest on, but I should take the chest off my rogue and put it on this character. Unsocket.
It always stings to chip apart a fine piece.
Oh, the undercard fight's over, huh? Okay.
People. I'm not fond of people.
Somebody's gonna miss it. Somebody gonna miss it. Blackout, tell me about your PC. I see you have a pretty cool icon for your PC logo, and I'm curious about your PC specs. If you haven't told me already. Oh, what am I doing? I made a mistake. Come help me. Kill this stuff. Helpo. Help, you've already gone too far ahead of me. Come back. Come back. I'm about to die. I don't want to screw up. All right, I think I'm all right. Now we're in a situation where we're killing the same two mobs the entire pit. That's funny. They can't kill us, but we can't kill them either. He didn't struggle to clear. That was quick. I thought he whipped through that pretty fast. No? Hey, Jesse P. Happy Friday. I thought he whipped that through that pretty fast. Look at Soy with the perfect rod of Kepaliki. Wow, well masterworked. Maximum resolve stacks are through the roof. That is cray-cray, dude. He's got a perfect BLT as well. And a perfect Ring of the Midnight Sun. And a perfect Serpent's Tongue of the Moonrise. Lord have mercy. Look at these rolls, too. Gee whiz. We should all be so lucky, Soy. No, that's crazy, dude. $40.90, right on. $79.53 D DDR64 RAM, all Asus parts. Built by Robitech, right on. Very cool. I have a Zydax built computer. But I'm running a 3080 Ti and an i9 processor. It's 2.4 gigahertz overclocked to 5, I want to say. Or no, it's 3. I can't remember now. I have to look it up. 128 gigabytes of RAM, Z490 board, i9, 3.6. I usually have it overclocked to 5.0, but I do not right now. Hey, Rudy. He's got the Druid on. Awesome. You decided to make a Druid, Josh? How is it so far? Are you enjoying it? Is it Storm Slide? Yeah. Landslide, but not Storm Slide. Right on. Whoa. I just can't get GA items to drop no matter what I do. Why did the other person leave? They left during the pit. Oh, I don't know. Maybe their computer crashed. Noah, you there, buddy? I'm not sure. It's okay, though, because I think I'm going to end the stream anyway. We've been streaming about 2 hours. It's almost 8 o'clock. Oh, wow. Hey, everybody, follow my friend Phil on Twitch. His name is PH Lash, like it's Flash. PHLASH __. Follow my buddy. He's a good streamer. He's a good D4 player. He's helped the show a lot. His name is Phil, but it's called his thing is Flash with a PH. PHLASH __. Okay, gang. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. It was great to stream with you and play with you. Hope you have a great night. Thanks for joining me.